Forest Park City Council meeting number 1442. Today is October 21st. We are going to start by standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, 7 p.m. starting on item number 1 on the agenda is the roll call. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Adams.
Present.
Brown.
Here.
Clark. Harrison.
Here.
Holt.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Sylvester.
Here.
All right, I need a motion to excuse Councilwoman Clark.
Give a motion to excuse Councilwoman Clark from today's council meeting.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion to excuse passes. Moving on to item number 2, which is the minutes. Has everyone received the minutes? Are there any changes or corrections to be made? All right, hearing none. Item number 3 is presentations, which we do not have any listed. So we're going to move on to item number 4, which is communications from the public. So this is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. So when recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcription, and comments are limited to 5 minutes. So if anyone would like to address council, now is the time to do so. All right. So now moving on to item number 5, it's going to be reports from council members. We're going to start with Councilmember Adams.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I have a couple of things that I wanted to make mention of. First off, the holiday judging for the beautification committee will be on December the 13th. We are still wanting members to come, or people to please consider joining our commission. We are a commission that has a really good time. We really enjoy each other. We do a lot of nice things in an effort to beautify the city of Forest Park. Also, on December the 13th, the We Thrive will be having their Bourbon Fest, and the beautification committee is going to be donating a beautiful mum for them to raffle off. And then we're also very excited about, in 2025, we're excited about the tree planting in Veterans Park, but we have a couple of questions. We wanted to ask if a member of administration could make themselves available so that we can discuss like the application process, tree sales, and other operational needs to ensure that this amazing opportunity we have before us to celebrate our veterans is fully executed and excellent. So we'd like for administration or someone to get with us on that. Also, last but not least, we would like the city manager to discuss the flow of how he will like for the flower beds to be planted. I know that we have some time before the spring, but we want to start getting some things kind of ironed out, set up, put in stone so that we'll know how to move forward. And then we had a suggestion from the volunteer dinner, which I had the opportunity of attending this past Tuesday, that we do a Halloween contest for all the amazing decorations, because we have some really nice ones here in the city. So that's another discussion that we'll have. But Mayor, City Manager, do you think that we could possibly have you come to one of our beautification meetings?
Sure.
If that's possible. Thank you, sir.
When and where?
Yes, sir. I thank you so very, very much. And that would conclude my report for the beautification committee, and I'll let Dr. Moore talk more about anything that's happening with quality of life per se.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Adams. Do you have any work session items?
No, sir. The only work session item is that I'm going to continue to follow up on what opportunities may be available for the city of Forest Park to be able to help serve our brothers and sisters for the Martanian community, so that we can support that community and ensure that the resources that we have are being able to be allocated for the greater good, and any additional resources or services that we may be able to come across as a city that may be able to assist, and just find out what supports are out there and available.
All right, moving on to Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to remind our citizens that we are having, or there will be a job fair that will be hosted by the Southwest Ohio Regional Government. This is going to be at the new library. It's going to be this Wednesday between 1 and 4 p.m. So you have any residents who are looking for jobs or looking to upgrade their skills or whatnot, please visit the library and visit the job fair. That is all I have right now. For work session, I would like to just do a follow-up on the speed cushions and possible locations for new ones to be placed.
Okay. All right, thank you for that, council member. Moving on to Vice Mayor Holt.
The only thing that I have to report is I complained about that trailer being parked. Well, it left on Sunday and it came back on Monday, and it's still
Still there?
Yes, it's there. And
Check out and take a look.
I think if, they had gotten a warning before, it probably would not be there again today. So, that's all I have.
All right, and do you have any work session items to add?
Councilmember Harrison said the speed cushions, I would like to have a discussion to follow up on that also.
Okay, thank you for that. Moving on to Second Vice Mayor, Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do not have a report at this time.
All right, and would you like to add any work session items?
No, I do not.
All right, thank you. And then moving on to Councilmember Sylvester.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I do not have a report.
Okay.
And on items to add, if not on this next work session, because I know sometime we'll have a point of prioritizing on some of these work session items, but I'd like to include on the commission for stormwater and finance. I know we had a little bit of a underrepresentation with our volunteer event, and I just want to kind of get things in tune with our directors of with those commissions, so we can have a better flow as we getting ready to exit this year and enter into our new 2025 year, and to make sure that we're active with what we need to have in place.
Okay. All right, thank you for that, Councilmember Sylvester. And that concludes item number 5, reports from council members. Moving on to item number 6, which is the mayor's report. I have a brief report. I do want to thank all of the residents and volunteers who came out for our volunteer dinner. I want to give a special shout out to our clerk of council, Ms. Takia Bailey, for taking that on and organizing that. So we do want to give you a round of applause on such a wonderful, well done event. Everyone really enjoyed it. People raved about the food, and I stayed for the majority of it. It was actually a really well attended event, so it was really good. The second thing is our region recently had Blink, which is the light show festival that spans, Cincinnati, Covington, Newport, and the city of Forest Park was actually featured in a video from a local art collective, Black Art Speaks, because the executive director is a resident of Forest Park, Alandis Powell. She actually commissioned a local artist who's also a resident of Forest Park, Rebecca Armstrong, and that video was featured in an installation in Blank. It was very well attended. I think they're still tallying the numbers on exactly how many people came total, but if you want to see snippets of that, you can go to our social media page or our website just to see what was included in that video, and it featured us very well. So I thought it was a great highlight of not only the wonderful work that the local artist, Mrs. Armstrong, does, but it was just a great feature of the city of Forest Park as a whole. And with that concludes my report. The only thing that I'm going to add to the work session is just continued discussion around our boards and commissions. In this particular session, I want to focus on recruitment. Instead of the last few we discussed process and procedure, but we're going to discuss recruitment this time. That concludes my report. So moving on to item number 7, which is the city manager's report, and we'll hear from Mr. Don Jones.
I'll keep it short and sweet as well. I want to remind everyone that our road program is coming to a conclusion. We're paving Raphael and Havensport and Carillon this week, and working on Raphael's curbs as well, and we're also just finishing up Sharon Road and Ken Road as well. Sharon Road still has the some of the lanes markings need to be painted in there, so that'll finish that up. And a couple of questions is, why do we stop where we stopped? Well, that's the money we had, and it was a grant through the state. So we'll be putting out the rest of Sharon from basically the east side of Sharon from Winton down to toward Carnegie. So we'll be putting that in for next year. Hopefully we'll be able to finish that next year, but that's why we stopped kind of in the middle of Sharon. We went as far as we could with the grant that we had. So other than that, we have we had a great volunteer dinner. Again, I want to commend everyone who had a hand in that, plus all the people who showed up, all the volunteers, and we still need volunteers. And I also want to let everyone know that there will be a public hearing coming up next Monday at 6:30 right here at Council Chambers we'll be discussing proposed regulations for the sale of recreational marijuana here in the city of Forest Park. That'll be a public hearing. If you have any, I want to have some input on that. Again, that'll be 6:30 right here. It's coming Monday, or next Monday. And I want to thank everyone who had a hand in the Harvest Fest as well. I think I said that again last week, but I don't want to forget that. It was a great Harvest Fest, probably our biggest one. So any other questions, I'd be glad to discuss it.
Okay, on Sharon Road, you only did, I know it's money, you only did part east and part west. It's not, the whole east has not been done in the whole west. You
Yeah.
kind of went in the middle.
We did the worst part of it, which was the middle. And we came all the way to Winton Road. And then had a little bit of extra money left. And we decided to go on across the other side of Winton Road. And we were able to get as far as we could on the east side of Winton, on Sharon. But yes, we still have to do both ends. We did the worst part, which was right there through, mainly, the engineers explained this to me, but basically because of the trees and the shade and so forth, it causes some issues with the road. And
Trucks too, right?
trucks as well, but mainly
It's
mainly
still seeing an influx of 18-wheelers going through the city.
yeah, those definitely don't help, and they'll tear your roads up pretty quick.
Real fast.
So yes, that's why we picked that section, and then we were able to continue across Winton to do a little bit up the hill on the east side of Winton.
Well, I
Okay, and
did really quick. I did see Ken Road, and it looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Because that's, I grew up on Ken, and I know my grandmother would really have loved to see that road get polished. So, everyone pardon our dust. We are still working through a lot of new growth, a lot of infrastructure changes, but we are doing I think we're doing a good job, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, we do as much as we can, get as many grants as we can, and
Yeah.
done a lot of the main roads, and we still do our interior roads, but it's become so expensive that we just can't do as many as we want.
Yeah, and have not raised taxes to do them. We apply for grants, so that's what I think local government should do, be flexible and fiscally responsible. All right.
Okay, I had another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I noticed in Fairfield that they have signs that X number weight of trucks cannot go on streets there. I don't see any of those signs in Forest Park.
Well, we probably don't have those regulations. They regulate that particular part of, the one part I'm thinking of is right there right just over the bridge. And that's to regulate truck traffic back through there. So we can look at that and make recommendations to post those signs. We have signs posted at the entrance to the city, but we can post them on other areas if we want to control the size and weight. We have no trucks signs on certain streets, but we can, again, look at them and make recommendations on what streets we may not want any truck traffic on.
Because I've seen trucks on Waycross, which is, like
Yeah.
really ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a cut-through east-west boulevard, or collector, I think that's what they call it.
Yeah. Okay. So
So
we're gonna,
I'll ask Scott to look at that and make recommendations on the signage and any kind of restrictions on the size and weight of particular trucks on particular streets, particularly the main, more traveled streets.
All right, thank you for that, Don.
Thanks, thank you.
Moving on to item number 8 on the agenda, which is our other reports. We're going to hear from our law director, Mr. John Wyckoff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Approximately once a year, the police department tries to clean out its inventory in its evidence lockers best they can, and this typically involves personal property, and the second category would be drugs and drug paraphernalia. I have filed petitions with the Hamilton County Common Police Court for the destruction or distribution of those items as permitted by law, and Judge Hathaway has signed orders allowing us to do that. So you'd be shocked how much inventory there is. A lot of things that we'll be getting rid of. The other item is I've been giving some advice and recommendations to our property maintenance department and its desire to increase our fines for violators in order to get their attention. So that's work in progress. Once that's completed, an ordinance, request to amend our ordinance for those penalties will be presented to council. That is the end of my report. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you for that, John. And then our next report, we'll hear from our clerk of council, Ms. Takia Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have nothing to report.
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Bailey. Moving on to item number 9, which is unfinished business and general orders, which is nothing. And then item number 10, which is new business. We are going to have a few motions here. So I make a motion to direct the clerk of council to notify the Ohio Department of Liquor Control that the city of Forest Park, Ohio does not request a hearing regarding a new liquor license request to Speedway LLC. All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. This can be a voice vote, so all those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes 6-0. The next is I make a motion to direct the clerk of council to notify the Ohio Department of Liquor Control that the city of Forest Park, Ohio does not request a hearing regarding transferring a liquor license request to China Garden Forest Park, Inc. from China Garden Buffet, Inc. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. Again, this can be another voice vote. All those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that passes 6-0. And finally, I make a motion to go into executive session to discuss the purchase or sale of property.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded.
Mr. Mayor, that would be real property, correct?
Yes, real property.
Yes. So I'll amend. I'll rescind, then I'll amend. I make a motion to go into to convene executive session to discuss the purchase or sale of real property. All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. That passes 6-0. So at this point, we're going to go into executive session. Dana, once we return, we're going to immediately end session. So just please hold on. Please hold on while it shouldn't take very long. Okay, I would make a motion to end executive session and go back to regular council meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. There's no discussion, so all those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? All right, so we are back in a regular session, and there are no more business. So is there any other business to come before the body? Is there any other business to come before the body? Is there any other business to come before the body? Hearing none, this council meeting is adjourned.